Hey, how's it going? This is Kevin. I wanted to show how to tie a fly that I really like for Great Lakes steelhead, or for any steelhead for that matter. I call it my emerald shanker. What it is just a baitfish, kind of a scandi style fly tied on a Waddington shank. So to start off, we'll go with a 25mm Waddington shank using the 140 denier black. And to start this off, you're just going to want to lay a nice thread base all the way down your shank. See this, sometimes these shanks start to jump a little bit, so you want to make sure that you're getting right on there. So I'm going to take it all the way back to where they start to overlap. And then I'm going to put on my stinger. So for my stinger, what I use is Fireline, the 14 pound. I cut this probably at about 24 inches, enough to where I can go and I can make one loop with it. I actually loop it again. This will give it a strength, it's kind of a backup. So on the second loop, I'll go and attach my stinger hook. I like the size 4 Intruder from Partridge. These are the Z4 Intruder hooks. Get one of these, so then you feed it through. These are an eye up, kind of octopus style, so you're going to feed this way through the top of the eye up. So you take both of those loops. You're going to feed them through the top there. So as they go through the top of the hook, you can see they're coming through. Then you open up both of those loops back up. You slide down over the shank of the hook. You make that handshake knot, so whenever you pull tight on all 4 strands going forward, you've got yourself straight in line. This is the one thing that's key, is make it goes through the eye up and then around through. So whenever you're attached onto your shank, if you're gonna go, I like to go hook point up, but if you go hook point down, the force pulling through that is gonna set that hook straight. If you're doing the other way where it was actually coming through the top, your hook's gonna hang a little bit angled like this, and if you pull, that force is not gonna pull that hook straight through. So you're driving right now with the shank right through. So on this fly, we'll go and leave it. The one thing I like, how I kind of estimate on this Regal vise, is on the jaws here, where it kind of meets the flat point for the upturn of the jaws. That's kind of like where I like to let my hook sit. So you can see I kind of put it right on like that. I'll do 2 loose gathering wraps. And I'm going to run this thread back down this shank, the Waddington shank. I do kind of loose wraps here because I'm going to put some glue on it in a second. So I kind of put it in, I feed it back through the eye. So it's coming through, all 4 pieces are coming through the eye. Come right up to where it's upturned, and then actually bend it back underneath the shank and run back down the distance. You could be done here. I like to do one more little, just a little piece. Start to tie it down up the top, and then to clean it up, what's nice is that since it's already facing forward there, if you just take the clip, then you got a nice level flat spot. So straighten it back out. So now I've got to here. The one thing with this being a Waddington shank, I actually don't use any weight on this. So the shank is enough weight to keep everything in line. So now I've got my stinger in, just do a quick little shot of glue, top bottom. And I'll just quickly load that back in with some thread and just kind of flatten everything back out. So now I've got my platform there. The one thing that's nice too is that with that extra glue that I put in those loose wraps, whenever I go to put my body on here, I'm going to use the Kreninik. This is going to be the gold. So what I'll do is on the far side, I'll secure it down in. And it doesn't matter if I go up the shank right there, so I'm about 3/4 of the way up the shank, bring it back down. That glue, since I wrap kind of loosely, that glue's kind of coming out as I wrap a little bit tighter. So I actually have a little bit of reinforcement in the body. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this Kreninik all the way back up the body here. And going back up, I'm gonna stop maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch right behind the eye. And I'm gonna tie it on the bottom. So now I'm right in there on the bottom. I'm gonna clean it off. So got a nice, even, firm gold body. Cover that up. So to start off underneath, I'm gonna be using Arctic foxtail. This is the chartreuse. These tail medallions, nice and bright. And I'm only looking for a little bit here, and I'm looking for some of the nice uniform long, kind of the in-between. I don't want the guard hairs, I don't want just all the underfur. So I'm gonna take this piece, I cut it a little bit fatter than I probably would want it. So I don't want that thick. It's a little bit much, but I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna hold on to the tips. I'm gonna clear out all that underfur on the bottom. And I'm also gonna do the same thing up onto the guard hairs. I'm gonna look at those guard hairs there. I don't really want those. I want something, this is gonna kind of be the prop for my wing. I don't want those longer hairs. I want some even. So now I've kind of cleared all the guard hairs, and I'm gonna hold all at the top. I wanna make sure that all that hair is that same length. So I'm gonna take to the top, pull it out again with my fingernail, and you can see I'm really thinning this out because I want all these hairs to have the nice same full length that they can get me to there. So that looks a little bit fat. I want to take a little bit off there. Kind of laying it out to see where it is. I'll pinch off that much. That looks to be good. I'll do one more cleanup. So I want to make this so it kind of comes not right to the hook eye, but I want it to be right about there. So I'm actually going to be tying this in reverse so I can see, switching hands here. I'm going from here's where I'm at, switching over, flipping around. I'm gonna actually tie this in reverse to get that extra lift. So I'll put it down here. I'm gonna go one loose to pull tight. I'm working backwards to build up to there. So now I've got this going in the opposite direction. I'm gonna clean up those butt ends, make that nice and tight. Doesn't hurt right here either to take a little shot of glue, lock that in. Bring my thread back up to that first wrap. And I'm gonna take this hair and I'm gonna push it back like that. And I'm gonna wrap in front and kind of make a dam to keep it back. So you can see this almost wants to stand up like a parachute post on a trout fly. That's what you want, because what's going to happen is this is going to support that upper wing. If something doesn't lay flat, it's going to push it back. So we're good there. I'm going to run a little bit more to that dam right behind it. You can see I'm getting right up on close to it, but I'm still not pressing it down, so it's still going to stay standing up. Next, I'm going to go for my flash. And so this is the micro flash, really thin, limp stuff. I'm gonna take about 4 strands, get in there. Taking 4 strands per side. And I want it to be just about a little bit past my shank. So I'm gonna measure this out. I'm actually gonna double these over. So pull it out here, tie it on, nice loose wrap, gather it. And then we'll fold it back here. So I can trim later whenever I get my length right. So they're still a little bit long. Put them in. Get my other 4 for the other side. Do the same thing. Give it enough off the front so I can come back with it. Fold back. wrap my thread back to where I was, right with my Arctic fox there. So these are getting in the way, they're getting kind of long. I know that I'm going to trim shorter, so I'm just going to take the length off them right now. I'll clean them up at the end. Next is going to be the black wing. Again, Arctic fox. This piece I have right here is super big, long, flimsy. What I really only want is I'm going to break this up into two pieces on my cut. I'm going to take a cut that's full of the guard hairs, the normal hairs, and also the underfur. So it's a pretty long, flimsy one. So first, just like I did with the green, I'm going to trim out all those guard hairs, pull those out. And then I'm going to go and look at these guard hairs, or sorry, the long ones on the top. I'm going to actually pull those out. I'm going to save these. I got a nice long clump that are going to be my second wing. So now I've got a good bunch here. Those kind of like the medium length ones, not the long ones, not the short ones. I'm kind of building a tapered wing that I'm going to sit on top here. I'm going to go ahead and place this one. I'm not tying this one in reverse. I want it to be just a little bit longer than the previous one. My thread's already back up against my reversed green. I'm going to go one tight. So then I'm right there, I'm with it. Find my difference and trim those butt ends nice and tight. Again, as I'm wrapping back, I'm being sure not to catch that green. I still want that to stay pretty propped up and big. So the guard hairs I set aside are the long hairs. I'm gonna take those and find the natural curve of them. I just want those on as a nice long wing, going over a little bit past where I was before. So I'll cut those to length before I tie in. I just want those to sit right up on top. Cool. So now I've got that 3-layered wing. The reverse, you can see it's starting to sit down a little bit more, but it's still keeping some loft. Medium length with the black, and then I've got some nice longer hairs up top. I'm going to finish off the head here. I like to put a little bit of jungle cock on it. It hides up like that transition spot right there. It just gives it a little bit of extra something. You could put hackle fibers in here. You could put on some eyes. I don't particularly like the eyes because I can fish this with a sink tip and then allow it to move a little bit in the water column rather than having the weight put it on there. So to take my jungle cock eyes, you can take these two. You want to put them with the shiny sides out on both sides. So I've already prepped these feathers. You want to put both the shiny sides out so they're laid up like that. So you got both of them together. You want to lick your fingers, you touch, you pull apart. You got them so they're going to be exactly lined up. They're tying. So now they're both sitting correctly on both sides. I'm going to trim those up. Make sure they're on both sides. And just build a nice little head. Whip finish. And like I said that I left that flash a little bit long, so you can turn it upside down here and find that spot where you want to cut it. And I like to try to cut each one individually, so it's not just like a hard line on all of them, but they're a little bit different. And there you go. A little head cement on the front, and you've got this nice pattern for nice emerald shiner pattern. If you like this video, please go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching. Here's some other videos that I've also done. A lot of other fly tying, some other steelhead gear videos, some other pieces. So if you like it, go ahead and check out these other videos. If not, give me a comment or subscription. Let me know what you think of this one. Thanks.